quick look at the markets today. How do we open up today, Tom? Good morning.
Good morning, Pete. Just a modest improvement this morning, and the futures are telling us up by around a little under 0.2% for the ASX 200, which is underselling what we've seen on Wall Street, which has been a pretty constructive session. As you might recall, they took a little bit of a knock last week over the course of the 5 days, a bit of volatility midweek, but they have come good this session, and arguably it's the technology stocks that are almost leading sentiment in a fashion. We've got the Nasdaq up by 1.7%, the S&P 500 up by about 1%, and the Dow up by around 0.6%. So some of the tech stocks are really having a revival. The big marquee names in particular. Netflix stands out. They had some very good earnings numbers last week, which has lifted sentiment. The stock's up by about 5% today. It's up by around 20% in year-to-date terms, so it's doing quite well. And that's really where most of the optimism is centred. As to whether or not it's going to continue is another question. Elsewhere, European markets did pretty well last night. Nothing to blow the hair back, but you've got the German DAX up by about 0.5%, the French market up 0.6%, and the broader market, the Stock 600, up by about 0.5%. European markets were helped by a moderation in European gas prices last night. So energy moderating is always helpful. Long-term interest rates a little bit higher. That's probably the interesting thing about the stock performance in the US in particular. We've got 2 and 10-year government bonds up by about 4 basis points in yield. That's a reasonable nudge higher for interest rates, Pete. So, but stocks are weathering that nonetheless.